Hello. The project I'm working on right now is making a boat out of coroplast, which is a trade name for what is more generically called corrugated plastic or fluted plastic sometimes. Basically imagine a piece of corrugated cardboard but made out of plastic. That's basically what it is. It's most commonly used for making signs, especially political signs. You can find it at a lot of big box hardware stores. The ones near me only had the 4mm thick stuff, which I guess a lot of people do use for making boats, but it seemed a little thin to me. It seemed like it was going to be too easy to fold and not rigid enough. So I opted to go for the 10mm stuff, which I got at a local sign supply shop. I'm going to say that the 10mm stuff is much, much thicker than the 4mm stuff. It is a lot harder to bend. So a lot of the tools that people have been using for the 4mm stuff, the tricks and things they use, they work, but it's been a lot of work. To put the initial folds in it when I got it at the sign supply shop, they let me use their workshop. I think it took me about 30 to 40 minutes to put just a single fold against the grain. Folding along the flutes is a lot easier, but folding against the flutes, you really have to crush them. And with the 10mm stuff, that's really difficult. So if I was going to do this project again, I think I would invest some time in figuring out a more effective way to crush the lines before I fold them. But I'm going to show you what I've been doing. It does work, just really slow. I've been spending quite some time working on this project today. So let's get a close-up. So we can see here that I've marked the line where I want to perform the fold. But if I try to actually fold this, it's just not going to fold. It's really tough. If I did manage to fold that there, I'd probably crease it along the seams here and not along this line. So the first thing I need to do is find out some way to sort of make it when it folds want to fold on that line. What a lot of people do is they use these screen rollers and they use that to score the line. It's a lot of work. If this is on the 4mm stuff, I think I could do this pretty easily. On the 10mm stuff, I just gotta go over it a whole lot. I definitely got some blisters on my hands. It's definitely hard to get a lot of pressure on there. One thing I found helps is on the end here, I just used some needle nose pliers to actually crush this. And with these, it's very easy to crush the flutes. So, like I said, it'd be nice to build some sort of jig where I could just get some bars and crank something down and just crush it right on the line there. But I don't have time to build something for that today. So I'm going to roll on this line for a while until it's a little bit more crushed, and then I'll come back for the next step. So now that I have somewhat weakened this area, the next step is to use a nice solid straight edge like this piece of wood to put on the line and then try to bend the coroplast against it. Ugh. You can see now it's starting to get bend marks here. So the challenge now is I need to do a lot. This needs to bend a lot more. Basically, two things I can do. One is I can use a hairdryer to try to heat it up. I don't want to heat it up too hot because this has a fairly low melting point. I think it's around 170 degrees. I can heat it up and try to bend it, and then I can also just mechanically bend it more times till it starts to, be more agreeable to bending. So that's what I'm going to do now. So another trick is to try to use clamps to assist with the bending process. So if I can get the clamp on here, and then that helps keep some tension on there, and then I can try to hair dryer it. Of course, this clamp is really wanting to slip off of here, so it's not, although it can work, it's definitely not super easy. Alright, so I've got all of my folds in the boat here, they're still pretty springy and want to really bust open. So I've seen some of the thinner 4mm stuff, they just use bungee cords to hold the whole thing together, but I don't think the bungee cords are going to be strong enough for this, at least not till it really gets, not until at least gets really used to being folded up. So what I'm going to do for now is I have an eye bolt, 2 fender washers, and a wing nut. And I'm going to do the folds and then put the bolt through it. The fender washers are to distribute the load because it is just, plastic. And I went with the eye bolts because after I have the hardware installed, I still have the option then to hook in some sort of rope or bungees or something to pull it together. So we'll see how this works. Alright, so I've marked the hole. You can see, sorry the camera angle is weird, but I've marked the hole where I want to drill, just by putting the fender washer up there and circling it. So now is the moment of truth. I'm going to try to drill through this and see what happens. Alright, that went pretty well. That's the first easy thing I've done on this project. Well, alright, so now I've got a boat. You can see the motor's just lying in the middle there. I haven't put it on the stern yet, on the transom yet. But it's got a nice boat. It's got the bungees in the middle to help keep it tight. And it's got, there's a design flaw I noticed in the front here as I was putting it together, is I realized because of the way this is folded, here, the water is actually going to be able to seep in right through here. And so I really should have folded this all the way up to the corner there. Alright, we've got the battery and the motor in now. So now I just got to get in without tipping everything overboard and make this happen. Is that reverse? I think so. I'm going to stay close to shore.
Just in case.
So there's a tiny bit of water accumulated in the back corner here. And I think that's probably just what came off me when I got in the boat. The signs of leaks. Good. But now I'm thirsty because I didn't take any umbrellas or hats or water or anything else that I didn't want to fish out to the bottom of the lake. But I'll definitely be going out again with more supplies.